Hello YouTube, it's Robin McClendon. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming back. For those of you who've been hanging out with me for years on end, I love you guys. And I think we have the most amazing time on this channel. So I thank you all so much for being a part of it all. And as I've created this video, I'm in Germany working with color stock at Creative World in the big hall there in Frankfurt and what have you. So I'm sure I'm like in the middle of doing a million demos and meeting a lot of people, hopefully meeting a lot of you all over there that we never get to meet up. You've come to the exhibit. But anyway, so I wanted to go on to our next chapter, which is chapter 4. So last week we did 1 and 2. So I gave you the option to work with 1 color pool or 2 and 3 color pools. And we're going to come back and forth. This is just moving through the book at one point. You're going to find that I'm a double back and forth around because that's how I print. And I made the book the way that I work. But the next one is Old Wall. So right now I've got a lot of good stuff on my plate. Normally a good time to do Old Wall is after you've been working for a while. The plate is nice and, you know, juicy. It wants to give up a lot of stuff. And I had gone on and worked some other prints. And this is one of them. I really like this color palette. I'm kind of playing with colors. And I really liked this with this gray. This is warm gray. So I'm probably going to use... Well, I'm going to, but not for this one. But anyhow, so I have a lot of good marks down here. This is a good time for Old Wall. I like the black pieces because I feel like that pulls and it just gives some age to everything. So we're going to work in our next page and see if we can pull a nice Old Wall. So we're on our second spread here. And the way we're going to do that is I like using... Guys know I love using a good quinacridone Azo Gold, which makes a really good Old Wall pull because it'll pull a lot of this. Also, I'm noticing that when I use the yellow Azo with that red and a little bit of black, I get a nice tone as well. So I think I'll just go ahead and use the quinacridone to start. No, I'm going to use this one because I like the color. I like the variation in color. So, I mean, this does really good. But, like, you still see the yellow coming through in the red. And I'm really starting to like the sophistication in those tones. Whoops, sorry. Shaking a little too much. In those tones. So I don't really know what the proportions are. I just kind of figure it out as I go. But you can sort of see there's a lot less yellow to red. And then even less black. So maybe a little bit more black. Because it is a lot of red there. But not much. So we're just going to go. So what I like to do is first really blend it together. To get the tone I'm looking for. But we really want to blend those blacks and yellows, because when we're finished, we don't want to see black or yellow. We want to see this sort of quin color that we're making. So I really use my brayer and really move it around really good. Now this right here, I'm going to put my full page down. And then I'm going to let this sit. First, I want to make sure that I really press it down. I really want to get it in that fold because I'm learning that's important. And I'll lift up this side. Do the same. Now, I don't have a lot of paint down there, and that's the secret to Old Wall. You want to have just enough to cover it. So I'm gonna flip it over and I'm going to really let this sit. I'm going to put something underneath it to lift it up a bit. I'm going to find something, not to lift it up, but I really want to put some weight on. I'll use these ledgers. So I want to get some weight on it. And over here, we want weight because when I go to pull this, I'm going to let it dry. I can put this over here. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to come back to it. So when we pull it, we can pull as much off as possible. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I let this sit for about 7 or 8 minutes actually. So it should be dry. And I'm going to release it from the back side. We shouldn't have any sticking, but it's always good to release it this way, that way. I find that you get the greatest amount of transfer. So if you really want something to transfer, oh, this is good. Try, you know, peeling the plate off this way. Okay. Well, we got a lot of good movement here. Let's just take a look at stuff. Considering what was left down there, that's pretty good. So we're going to keep on working because this paper is not only, it's a heavier paper, so it's not going to absorb just right away as easily, but it's well worth it because you just get more of a painterly effect with it. And see how we have all of this good stuff? All that's old wall. So I'm going to keep on, oh, that's good stuff right there. And here, see, all of that is what we get from that printing. So I did like this palette right here. So I'm gonna go back and get some of this gray here and work it in to what we have here. So now this is flipped. So this right here is, how did I do that? Oh, you know what? I just flipped it again. So if I want to kind of get, I need to look at my book so I can, because this is flipping this way, right? So you want to sort of think about where you want your paint to go. So it takes sort of thinking about things a little bit. And now I want some of this over here. And color block a little bit. Just kind of looking at where. So we can literally go back to one color, pulls, and sort of lay stuff down where we want it, and pull stuff up. So you don't have to think in terms of, you know, the whole point of printing like this, and especially in our journals, is to begin to think about the way we're designing our prints. So it allows you just to kind of go back, put things down in places, and really start thinking in terms of the development of the print, not just laying things down and pulling it, or making patterns on the plate and pulling them. We're really now delving into the idea of printing, you know, the monoprinting process. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Look at that. See, we're still getting this old wall pulling up. It's even like it's peeling off. Oh, I love it. See how it just looks like it's even peeling off? We love that. Oh, this is good. So, let me see if I can get some focus right there. So we can also try to spot our prints, you know. Yep. So we pulled that up. That's good. This is some good old wall. I don't really want to do a whole lot more to this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit more gray right down in there. And I think I'll work a little color down in there. And then I'm going to stop because this is a perfect surface to come back and do some collaging on. Use inks so they can settle. We can come back with inks and they'll settle underneath the paints. And, you know, you just really get this really nice effect. I am going to bring this gray down a little bit more because I like that. So I need to, it's going to be over here, down here somewhere. So let's just get some of that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just get this so I can try to get sort of like in this area right here. So we can kind of place things where we want them too. That's the beauty of printing like this. But because we're doing it in a journal, it's like we don't have to worry. It's not like it's so precious, you know. Now, right now, I have a little bit more paint right there than what I want. So just grab a baby wipe while things are still wet, or some kind of wet cloth, and we're just going to push this back some. Because we have that layer of paint there, you can actually smooth. Oh, I like what's happening here. You can move it around, and it really is kind of giving a nice concrete look. Let's just do that all over. You can see what I'm doing. See how it's picking up that color there to give a really nice background. So I think I'm going to do that throughout to finish this print off. We can even get some color off the plate. I do everything when I'm gel printing. This is how, you know, those of you who are printmakers, you know how it is. You kind of do everything on your print and work back and forth on your plate like a palette. Oh, I love this. This gray is really nice with this earth tone. So, see how we made our own quinacridone? I mean, that's really good considering we put these three colors together. This yellow azo, the red, the light red orange, and the ivory black extra. And those quantities, I've kind of played around till I've gotten it, but those quantities really seem to give us what we want. And this really is, paint is pilling up nicely. Okay, so that's looking good. We're going to let this print settle. And let's just go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. See, I picked stuff up off of the table, and then some of this color moves around from the print too. Let me just get a little bit of this one, this transparent, just a little bit. That allows for me to have a little more color on here. This is good. Oops. A lot of times I put ink on here, but I don't want to, I'm not going to change the palette that much right now. But we can kind of really want to keep it. Let me get a little bit of this gray. Wait a minute, here's some right here. There we go. I kind of like this really cementy, you know, brick color, old wall thing. Let me get a fresh baby white. These are basically water wipes that I'm using. So they don't have any fragrance in them. There's no, I mean, guess few chemicals. But, I mean, the ones we use on the baby. So they're basically water on wipes. So they're pretty neutral. Like, you don't have to worry about feeling like you're introducing a lot of things into your print. Okay. Look at these. Good stuff. Alrighty. Look at that. Oh, I love it. That's classic old wall. We got it with one good pull and then come back with that gray. That gray has a real concrete look to it, which I like. And then using our wipes, it really integrated that color in nicely. I love, love, love this. So that's one for the books. So it's going to put this over here and let it dry. And let's go ahead and pick this up. I'm going to use a large sheet of the this all cotton watercolor paper that I'm using. This is, I'll be using a lot. I'm using a lot of that paper in Germany. So what I want to do is, what color palette do I want? I'm going to use what we have down here. But I really liked, let me see if I can duplicate this palette only large. So what did I use? So I definitely want this. It allows me to clean the plate. And this would be on a really good quality artist paper. Got this blue. We have a gray. This right here. And we're going to use a little bit of Titan Buff. Okay. Let's see what we end up with. I feel like I could use a little bit of, you know what, I can use a little bit of this Azo yellow. Just a little bit. Because I don't want things to go green with that blue, but I do kind of want a little bit more light down here. Okay. Let me get my Sumi ink ready. I'm going to do my brush work on here. And let's go ahead and roll this out. So you can do this too when you're finished with your book printing and that. You're still going to have good stuff down here on this plate. So just go ahead and, you know, make a print. Okay. All right, sounds good. See ya. I'm the only one in the studio today. So I'm trying, it's a Sunday and I'm in here trying to get stuff done before I go to Germany. And one of the other artists, we were the only ones in here, she was like letting me know that she's gone. So, okay, so now use the smooth side of this to find a section I really want. That right there is good. And then what I like to do is I like to put a piece of paper over top of it. Just going to use some of this for here. It's a lot of my waste paper. Put that down because we're going to flip this over. So I really like to let this dry on here. I really learned that on this thick paper, this paper right here is a company out of Japan, Baohang, and it's 100% cotton, acid free. It's company I'm working with in Germany. It's 300 GSM. It's beautiful paper. It's really great for watercolor, but we've been playing around with printing on the gel plate with it, and it prints beautifully on the smooth sides. If you use the back side of it, which is the smooth side, you're going to get a really nice print. So then, as you guys know, I flip it over. It's very painterly. I love it. And then I let it sit. And we're going to come back to this when this is dry, probably about 10 minutes. So I'll see you back soon. Okay, so we're back. We're going to pull this print. But before I pull it, just give it a little more time on there. I just want to make sure that I'm going over this process with you all. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my plate. I'm normally in the studio working before I actually turn on the YouTube video. So I've kind of got my plate already pretty well going, you know, like it's got a lot of lubrication, it's moist, it's, you know, it's receiving the inks nicely. And I'm doing that by other projects, playing with color palettes, and I'm pulling prints on copy paper. Now these prints we can still use because that print is yummy. That piece can be used as collage, different things. So I'm working with color palettes, pulling. So you always want to come to your plate, pull some prints, get, you know, like your colors figured out, get your plate going. And when you think you got your plate going, then go ahead and work in your book, because you want to make sure that you're, you know, that the environment is conducive for really receiving onto a book surface. You know, just because the paper's a little different, everything is thicker, we're doing different things with it. So then we create this. We then are going to always be left with something on the plate. So then I'm always going to pull another print. Most times on a nice weight printmaking paper, because I'm playing around with different techniques and I'm creating finished art pieces. So that's a good time to do it when my plate is in really good shape, and I probably will get a pretty good print. So let's just see what this is. Now these prints are not necessarily final. I probably will come back and collage on them and do different things. So right now we're just getting, I think, grab my glasses. We're just, you know, like working through a process. So we come in here, we play, we get some prints going, we get our plate, you know, revved up. And with that, we may have collage fodder and stuff. Then we're going to print in our journal, and then we do a final print. Let's see how this one, oh, we're getting good transfer. Oh yeah, love it. Oh yes. Oh, this is good. Put this back and go to the other side. There we have it. Okay. It's looking good. Oops. Doesn't knock everything over. Wow. This looks good. This paper is beautiful too. Yes, look at that. That's really good stuff. So, you can see it just takes the paper so nicely. We're getting a nice smooth monoprint. Not a whole lot of buildup of paints, or, you know, not a whole lot of texture like the what do you call it, the hills and the valleys and all the peaks and stuff. It really, you know, takes on the qualities of a monoprint, and I love it. So that's a finished piece. These colors work really well together. That's what I'm also, see how I got a little bit of that yellow in there? I knew in this area I wanted to get that yellow, and that yellow really holds up nicely, but it goes in beautifully with earthy tones. So there we have it. I think that's everything for this session. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. But yeah, that's the rhythm that we're taking. So I'm in Amsterdam. We just finished that Friday workshop where I met a lot of you all. We had a great time, a wonderful intimate setting in Tessa's beautiful studio. And so yeah, so we're finishing up. So I'll be back and we'll just keep on working. I think by the next time it'll be time for the folded book, or we have one more week in January. No, it'll be time for the folded book. So anyway, have fun creating your prints, making your journals, and beginning to work in these. And we're going to have a lot of fun with these. These are just going to be a lot of good artistic pages created and things we're going to come back and work on. So, alrighty, love you all. Make sure to thumb up the video if you enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, please hit that bell and subscribe. That way you get all the notifications. And we're just going to have fun hanging out and doing this and working through processes the way I work in the studio. Because I really want, I think so many of you have already done enough pull a sheet, pull a sheet, pull a sheet. You know, something on it, a texture here, a stencil there, a stamp there, all of that. What we need to do is work this, take the jelly printing to the next level. Let's really dig in and really create some beautiful art with it, flush out palettes, work out techniques, and allow ourselves to work in a very painterly and a very artistic way where we're just discovering stuff and we're honing our skills and we're learning a lot about what we like and what we don't want to do with regards to the plate. So thanks for hanging out. Love you all. Have a great week and fun in your studio, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.